Hi there folks. Well, this is the little 2001 Toyota Corolla hatch that I picked up from one of my neighbours for $200. I'm working and I'm driving 65 kilometres to work and 65 kilometres back every day, and it's getting colder, so I've decided that it was time to pick up another vehicle, but of course it's just going to get run into the ground. So this one came up and I thought it might be a good candidate. It's had a bit of a hard life. It's done nearly 400,000 kilometres, but it still ticked over quite well. The reason I got it so cheap was that the ignition switch has gone bung, and that caused the battery to go flat. So it was sitting in the neighbour's yard for a few months. It's now unregistered, and so I offered him a couple of $100 for it, and he was quite happy to get rid of it. So yeah, it's going to need a good clean, which is what I'm going to do today. All of the trim parts and everything from around the steering column should be in here. I'm hoping the screws are in here somewhere as well. And yeah, a few things else I've noticed. It's got 3 mags on it and 1 steel, but then there is a mag in the boot. So I don't know whether that's flat or bald, what the reason is for that, but I'll be pulling that out and having a look. So yeah, this should be a bit of an exercise. Although it looks beautiful here today, it rained all weekend, so the boss has called me and said there's no concrete today. So yeah, I'm going to spend a bit of time working on this fella. Anyway, so I've washed the car. It looks like it's just about a different shade of white now. I decided not to use the Karcher on it because I think the paint on the bonnet will just come off. I've pulled the spare out. It is bald, but it's the same size as the steel rim, so I might just be able to get those tyres changed over. And yeah, just a few little more bits to do. I can't find any degreaser, so I can't degrease the engine, which I wanted to do. But yeah, I'll just keep plodding away at it and see how we go. So when I got the little Toyota, the hood emblem was missing. Luckily it was in the door card pocket. So all the clips are broken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it up with hot melt glue. Oh, very, Now I've touched myself once, I'll touch myself 100 times. Holy shit, that's hot. Oh. That's how you don't do hot melt glue. But what I'm also going to do, I'm going to turn it over the back here. It's pointless putting it in there anyway, I never thought of that. And we'll just go in on top of the clips. Hot melt them into place, including this one, which is actually clipping. So, just reach in my glue stick there. Pop another one in just to keep it going. There. So, not real tidy on the back, but you won't see that. All you will see is that fantastic Toyota emblem at the front. So yeah, let that cool down now. Oh, pretty happy with that. Now I'd like to repaint this strip just below the headlights above the bumper there, but it seems like a lot of trouble. I have to take the headlights out to unbolt it. So I'm just going to try sanding it down, then masking it off and painting it. This is a fantastic product I got from Super Cheap Auto. Perfect for this sort of job. We're just throwing this back together here so we can have a bit of a look at how it sits now that I've washed it and done the grill. Bit of a difference from that. So yeah, there's still a few things. The bonnet doesn't quite shut properly. I think I'm going to need to move the latch that clips it down. But, you know, realistically, the car's a 2001 model. It's over 20 years old, so it's going to need a bit of work. It was just driven into the ground by the last people, and when they decided they didn't want it anymore, I've picked it up. So, yeah, today I've just basically used a bit of Algro grease and a little bit of paint. Have a look at the interior, see how it looks now compared to what it looked like this morning before I started. The center console came up pretty good compared to what it looked like earlier, which was, yeah, so I've taken out all the mats, all the seat covers. I'm going to replace all those. I did, as I was shooting this, realise I hadn't done the steering wheel, so I'll give the steering wheel a bit of a going over. But yeah, I've still got it on the C-Tech, trying to recondition the battery. It's fighting me. I tried to do it yesterday, but it didn't work, so I ran the car for about half an hour today, charging with the alternator, just to see if I can save that battery. And when I bought this little Toyota, one of the reasons I got it for such a good price was that the ignition switch, the key wouldn't turn. Now, I did a lot of looking online, and you've got to be careful when you live in Australia and you look online, because I have discovered that the American models are often different to the Australian models. We're technically in the Asian market, but I also tend to find that we seem to get parts bin versions that are just made up of bits left over from other models, or split between models and things. I know when I had the Kia Rio that we had for a few years, it was just when Hyundai had sort of started taking over there, and when I looked up, I had to change the oil filter in the timing belt, and the model that took the oil filter that I needed had a different timing belt to what I needed, so I managed to purchase the wrong things twice. And also found out when I've been doing motorcycles that, yeah, some of the models are just slightly different. So there was a lot on there about how you were supposed to jiggle the key until you got it and then push a button, but the parts they were changing didn't really look like the parts I had. So I elected to remove the steering lock with force. It probably took me 3 hours to do this. Now, I thought I would be able to chisel straight through this bolt here, but it proved much harder than I was. Well, actually, first of all, I tried unscrewing it with a chisel. So I tried unscrewing with a chisel, but it just would not move. Then I tried to smash my way through here with a chisel. Then I tried to bust it through here and through here. What I should have done all along was hit it here and chip off the part where the bolt sits, because that was what eventually got it for me. I reckon I could probably do this in half an hour now instead of the 3 hours this took me, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. So I have the new one, which is identical, and the key works. So I also did check the part numbers, and the part numbers were right. These part numbers aren't going to match because that's the Reman company's part numbers, but the part numbers they quoted this as being compatible with were the part numbers on this one. So we need to change over a few little electrical parts. So this one here, I need a screwdriver for that one. I do have a screwdriver for this one. And I hope there's nothing scary here, because I haven't got a clue. I've got to figure this bit out here. I'll just turn you off for a second while I sort that out. All right, so it turned out I did drill that out. Now, when you see people doing this under the dash of cars, just know that they're either incredibly skilled or they have very good equipment, because I have been through 4 drill bits, one of which broke. I've been using Trefolex. One thing I will say is you do have to put tension on it because that pin will spin. But yeah, it took me a heck of a go, and you need to get that out because this bit here needs to come back in for this piece to be removed. So I don't actually know what function that serves, and I hope it's worth the trouble I've just gone to. I'll pop this one back off again, and then I'll have a look here, because I noticed that in the new one this goes nowhere. So I'm gonna have to pull this one out and have a look. Maybe it's a function that doesn't happen on the new ignition switch. I just don't know. But we'll have a look and see. I can't see a good way to get that out. I can't see anything in there that maybe I need to that. There's something there that does something. Maybe I need to pull this one out and have a look. I think to myself, do I pull that out? Am I going to risk busting something? But anyway, we'll do it. That's the right spot. And this one has that's a different, where am I looking at? Over on this one. Okay, so looking at it like that. Can't actually see. That there has a little tiny hole in it. Look at this one. And I don't actually see a hole in that one. So I'd say that that thing does nothing on this one. So I'm going to pop this back together. Hook her up and see what happens. That might just be one of those annoying bloody door sensors or something. It'd be good not to have those go off. Go that way. Like that. Ah, shit, missed. Back out. Try again a little bit more carefully. Okay. Once again, don't know what that does. Guess it must be something. This one is back in like that. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll see if I've got some bolts that don't snap off, because these ones snap off, and I'll test fit it and see how it goes. Now I'll try and demonstrate the issue with changing your steering switch, ignition switch that I have. The vehicle will not start. However, this ring here is a sensor. If I hold the old key with the chip in it to there, then the vehicle will start. Unfortunately, I need another hand to demonstrate this for you, but trust me, it will. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape the old key to that and hide it under the dash covers. So yes, now you can see that I have taped the key to the old sensor, the old key to the sensor, and the car starts no problem at all. So I'm just going to poke that into there and put the covers back on. So as you can see, I think you'll agree, the car's looking a lot better now. It's all clean. I've put some nice seat covers in it. Put the steering column back together. And yeah, should be able to go for a roadworthy sometime this week. And hopefully I'll be driving it to work.